Yes, guys, what's going on? Adam McCullough here, Full-Time Devils. We are back. We are live. This is MUFC Transfer Daily Live. And we are reporting what is probably going to be bad news for some. But the news that many of us feared would be coming. We feared it was too good to be true. We feared swapping Romelu Lukaku for Paulo Dybala. And recent reports, Mario Mandzukic as well. We thought it was all too good to be true. And now it is widely being reported in the British press and in the British media that Manchester United have pulled out of a deal for Paulo Dybala because they are concerned over the player's desire to make the transfer happen. In the report by the Telegraph, which was the initial story, and then the likes of Simon Stone, the likes of the Sky Sports, etc., they all followed. In that story, it said Solskjaer wants players that want to play for Manchester United and have a desire to be a part of the project. And they felt Paulo Dybala probably wasn't convinced on the Manchester United move. We obviously see a player that feels he's being forced out by Juventus, and now it looks like that move is off. Although I saw in the last hour reports from Italy that the deal was still ongoing, the talks were still ongoing, even though the player was meeting up in Italy for training in Turin. So there's mixed reports going around, but the British press right now are all as one reporting the same thing, and that usually means there's been a leak by somebody, or someone has briefed the press from Manchester United or from Juventus, and they've all briefed the same story. You'd assume with it being the British press that it's probably Manchester United briefing that story, and the story also says Manchester United are now looking towards new targets, and there's about 4 or 5 days left in this transfer window. Today I was expecting to go live to discuss Harry Maguire and talk about how Harry Maguire's deal was done, and we've got the pictures of him in a Manchester United shirt, but instead we're talking about how this deal isn't going to happen. And one thing I want to ask you guys is, let's say we've pulled the plug on the deal for Dybala because we feel like he'd be coming for the wrong reasons, and I totally understand that. We've already seen over the last 4, 5, 6 years, we've signed players for the wrong reasons. Money, you're looking at Sanchez. Di Maria came to United because he couldn't go to PSG. You're looking at a number of players that have come to Manchester United for the wrong reasons. And if they felt this was another case of that happening, then I totally understand. But that also means we're left with Romelu Lukaku, a player that doesn't want to be at Manchester United and is unlikely now to leave during this transfer window. Inter Milan already couldn't stump up the fee. Now Antonio Conte and Inter Milan have been reported as saying that they still think a deal could happen. While he's not a Juventus player, anything could happen. And that's obviously true. But have they got the money to stump up to give us Lukaku? And if they have United got the time to line up a replacement elsewhere? That's something that worries me. So guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Have United made the right decision, if this is true, to pull out on a deal for Paulo Dybala? And if so, what does that mean for Romelu Lukaku at Manchester United? If he's here for this season, are you guys convinced that he's a player that we can rely on? Or do you feel that his head is going to be elsewhere? He seems a professional enough to get his head down and get on with it. But he's going to be a backup striker at Manchester United. He already knows that. That's why he wanted to leave. So is this now going to cause problems within our squad? He was already tweeting confidential information from training sessions, which have been reported to be something that's disappointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and led to them dressing down the player. Now, if that's the case, then it's an awkward meeting when Romelu Lukaku's turning up at training again. Nevertheless, that is something that's going to happen. Dybala's going back to a place he's not wanted. Lukaku's going to a place that he's wanted to leave. And probably now, after what's gone on, he isn't wanted either. So it is a very interesting situation for Manchester United, Juventus, Dybala and Lukaku to be in right now. If the story and the reports are true, it's been widely reported in the British press that Manchester United have called off a deal for Paulo Dybala because they're not convinced by the player's desire to make the move happen. Now, we want to know your thoughts in the comments, so keep your thoughts and your comments coming in as well. Remember, Full-Time Devils is all about you guys, and we want to know what you guys are thinking. Daniel Sanchez and Chris Hill are all mentioning Mandzukic and what's going to go on with his deal now. Now, it was reported that he was part of the deal to come to Manchester United with Paulo Dybala. Now, will United pull the plug on that? Are we going to end up selling Inter Milan, Lukaku, and replacing him with Mandzukic? Now, if that happens, look, if we got Dybala and Mandzukic for Lukaku, I'm happy with that. But if we just get Mandzukic to replace Lukaku, I ain't happy with that at all. So this was a story that initially broke by James Ducker at 7 p.m. Manchester United have pulled the plug on a deal for Paulo Dybala amid reservations about the Juventus striker's desire to move to Old Trafford and the player's enormous wage demands. United have been in talks with Juventus over the possibility of offloading Belgium striker Romelu Lukaku to the Turin Giants and Dybala moving to Manchester in return. But Telegraph understands that United have decided to pull the plug on that potential swap deal due to Dybala's reluctance to leave Juventus, the Argentinians' huge wage demands and exorbitant agents' fees. So it looks like that is the story that has been briefed to everybody in the British press, because also Sky Sports are reporting that. So let's bring up their story now to see if their story is a little bit similar. Let's see what's going on here. So here we go. Let's go to their transfer centre. It usually has everything there. Okay, that's just an absolute mess, to be totally honest with you. I'm not going to look through that. But I'm sure we'll see everybody's pretty much reporting the same thing right now. Yeah, Sky Sports are reporting it, says Mahi. It was too good to be true, says B.O. Let's sell Lukaku to Napoli and get Koulibaly in the swap, says Sayesh. With us on the verge of announcing a centre-half signing, a world record fee centre-half signing, I doubt that's going to happen. Harry Maguire, pants on fire, says Stumpy. I'm liking it. What have I missed, says Marco. Well, you've missed the latest reports that it was, in fact, too good to be true, ladies and gentlemen. Paulo Dybala, the move is off, according to British reports. It was initially from the Telegraph. Now Simon Stone's reporting it. Now Sky Sports are reporting it. Now everybody's reporting it in the British press that the deal is off. Manchester United have reservations over the player's desire to leave Juventus, the player's wage demands, the player's agent fees, etc., etc. And because of that, they've called it off. Now, I hope this is Manchester United being sensible. I hope this is just being sensible and saying, there's another deal we can do here that's less headache. The player wants to join us. We're going to go for that and we can get it done. I hope that's the case here. I hope we're still working on transfers. If Lukaku stays, we don't need to replace him. So we don't need to sign a striker. But we still need that midfield reinforcements. So we need to focus on getting that with Harry Maguire for the rest of this week. We need to. It's as simple as that. We can't... Look, Dybala was a fantastic trade for Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku's desire to leave. If he now goes and we don't replace him, it's a heads gone. It's an absolute heads gone. But now, with Lukaku seemingly going to stay, if he stays at Man United, we've got a striker that gets goals. Whether he wants to be there or not, coming from the bench, he's going to be a threat. So if Lukaku stays, let's sort out that midfield area. We can't rely just on Paul Pogba. Is McTominay, Pereira, Matic enough, Fred enough to complement Paul Pogba? I don't think that is. So we need to bring in midfield reinforcements. If that's Bruno Fernandes, someone else, whoever, let's get the deal done. No fucking around. If then this pops up later in the week and Dybala wants to make the move and Lukaku still wants to go and it happens or whatever, then fair enough. This was always going to be one of those dream come true moves. But if it doesn't happen, let's still get the business done that we need to get done. Yeah, I saw that. There's been some Italian reports. Sorry, I missed your name. The comment moved up quite quickly just as I read it. But there was some reports from Alfredo Padula. Now, I don't know how much or how reliable he is. But let me just bring that up now. And he said that it was still ongoing. It was still ongoing, the discussions, and they were at a hot stage or something or other. And now the British press are reporting this, so it is a weird one. There's also some stories popping up. Let's see what this is saying about Mandzukic. If we only end up signing Harry Maguire between now and the end of the window closing, this season is going to be a long, long season, let me tell you. Right, can this translate or something, please? I'm not seeing what's going on there. But yes, guys, Manchester United are believed to have pulled out of a deal to bring Paulo Dybala to Manchester United in a swap deal involving Romelu Lukaku with Juventus. They believe the players' desire, the players' demands for wages, and of course the agent fees involved in the deal means they're not going to make it happen. Solskjaer only wants players that actually want to play for Manchester United. Those are the reports that we're hearing this evening. Now, is this a brief by Manchester United simply because Dybala doesn't want to come? So we thought, let's get this out there first so we save face. Is that the case? So then we could save face with Lukaku as well. And Lukaku comes back thinking, oh, you know what? Couldn't do anything about it. They tried to make a deal happen. It didn't happen. Or is this actually what's gone on? Are Manchester United being sensible for once? Is that the case? But the only way I want to hear about sensibleness is if we sign reinforcements elsewhere in this team between now and the end of the window. How gutted are you guys about this? It's not only the Telegraph, Andre. Everywhere else is reporting it as well. And we should get Icardi, says Dandy Kush. All saying that in the comments that they want to get Icardi. If the Dybala move is still on the news, and he's only sitting down with Juventus on Monday. So until then, nothing has moved forward, says Coletto. This could also be absolute rubbish. I mean, DiMarzio hasn't tweeted anything yet regarding Dybala. He's usually the go-to guy for transfer news from Italy. But that's what we're hearing from everybody, that it's not happening. Sorry guys if I go quiet, it's because I'm just reading stuff. So Simon Stone tweeted, as per Telegraph Docker, United have pulled out of Dybala talks. Not surprised. As I said on 5 Live on Friday, club wary of being drawn into negotiations for a player who doesn't want to move to Old Trafford, which you can totally understand. But listen, Ed, listen, Ollie, you need to get some deals done. Bruno Fernandes or whoever in midfield needs to come in. Maguire, obviously, that's looking like that's going to get wrapped up. We saw pictures of Harry Maguire leaving Carrington today with a big fat smile on his face. No doubt, I'm sure he's passed his medical and is set to be unveiled as a Manchester United player. Probably tomorrow on Monday when everyone's in the office and everyone can do stuff at Old Trafford. Dybala, looks like that one's not happening now. So Lukaku, we're going to have an unhappy Lukaku on our hands? Or are we going to have a Lukaku that's wanting to prove a point and wanting to prove to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he should rate him and he should be starting him? Are we going to get that from Romelu Lukaku? What do you guys think about that? And who else should we be bringing in? Harry Maguire's on his way. We got a centre-half. We got a right-back. We brought in Daniel James, who's a decent squad addition and can play on the wing. But we still need more. We need at least one midfielder. Is Bruno Fernandes that man? Is that move going to happen or not? Or is it one of these long drawn-out transfer reports, rumours that's happening in the press week in, week out, but never actually comes off because it's all bogus? Let us know, guys. Is this going to be a bad week for United or is it going to be a good one? How are you feeling at the moment? I'm not sure what the latest is on Bruno Fernandes. So yeah, there's reports from Italy that they've entered their hottest phase. I literally don't know what's going on. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up signing him. That's how confused I am. Conflicting reports all over the place. And because it's the British press, we know they get things wrong. But at the same time, I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm going to say this one's off for now. Because of the fact that so many people are reporting it at once. It's almost as if they've been briefed by somebody. Maybe that somebody is Manchester United. Maybe the press in order to make the announcement of his signing even bigger and even better. Or maybe I'm just talking shit. I'm definitely talking shit, guys. Don't be thinking it's going to happen. But Alfredo Padula reporting that Manchester United are still in discussions while the British press are saying that it's off. Let's see what the latest is on Bruno Fernandes and let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. One word, Woodward. Don't trust the Glazers and Woodward, Joe says, and I absolutely agree with you. Will Sanchez step up, says Dan? I think not. I genuinely think not, unfortunately. So guys, how are we feeling? Are we feeling deflated? Or are we feeling alright? Are we still hanging in there? Not the end of the world, to be honest. And Neres sounds good, says Herndeep, who's heard the rumours that United are about to make a €50 million bid for Neres, but I'm not sure where that has come from. We need Maguire and Fernandes and Mandzukic, says Ben Nichols. Where is Sanchez? Says Abjit. I believe he's training, but he hasn't been travelling with the squad to the friendlies because he's at the early stages of his pre-season. He was obviously given more time off because of friendlies with Chile. Is Bruno coming really, says Nico Roche. I'm not sure, mate. I don't have a clue, to be totally honest with you. We have to go for Savic and Bruno now, says Kyle. What is the news on Sanchez? Is he still there? He is still alive, I believe. Ruben Neves, please, says Ross Turner. If you've seen 3 in 3 out, I said Ruben Neves to Manchester United would be one of my favourite signings, but that one's not going to happen. He's not going to leave Wolves, is he? Surely not. Guys, get hitting that like button as well. I'm going to stick with you for another 5-10 minutes. So if you want any of your questions answered, remember, I'm not in the know, but I'll give you my gut feeling. My gut feeling about this Dybala one was it was too good to be true, but I was getting excited that it was going to happen. And now we have been deflated like a balloon, like we expected. But we haven't lost anything because we do still have a striker. So it's not like we have a hole in the squad that we need to fill. Dybala was going to be a cherry on the top of what was hopefully going to be an amazing window. It can still be a very good window if we get that midfield reinforcement. Imagine getting 3 players in that go straight into your starting lineup. I would have wanted at least 4, but if that happens and we get 3 players that go straight into your starting lineup, then you can be reasonably happy with that because your back line is fully strengthened with Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. We need to strengthen that midfield, especially after losing Herrera. It's not like we've come into it and we've still got Herrera and we can get through with a McTominay, Herrera, Pogba, Fred kind of thing. We haven't even got Herrera. We needed to replace him, and that's the problem for me. I've been saying this whole time. When the Dybala-Lukaku talk was going on, it's fine because you know what? If Lukaku goes, we need to replace him. We need to swap him. Now Simon Stone's reporting, and this one is what worries me. United could sell Lukaku without bringing in a replacement. They are still looking at transfer options, but not at Bruno Fernandes, who is not on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's list. So are we seeing the end tonight of transfer rumours involving Paulo Dybala and Bruno Fernandes, which would then mean I have no clue what's going to go on with Manchester United. If we sign a Longstaff, oh shit, you're looking at United having spent almost £200 million on Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Daniel James and Longstaff. Jesus, that sounds bad, doesn't it? Now obviously the Longstaff rumours could be a lot of shit as well. But if there's no Bruno Fernandes and no Dybala for Lukaku still goes. What are they? That can't be true, surely. Hopefully that's absolute bollocks. Seriously, hopefully that's absolute bollocks. No Bruno Fernandes, no Dybala is what we're hearing right now. That is from the BBC saying United could sell Lukaku without bringing in a replacement, and Bruno Fernandes is not on Ole's list. Manchester United have ended talks with Paulo Dybala because of the Juventus striker's wage demands. This is from the BBC. United entered talks with the Argentine, 25, as part of a proposed swap deal involving Romelu Lukaku. However, they were dubious about whether Dybala wanted to join them and viewed his wage demands as excessive. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has targeted young, hungry players, and United officials concluded further bids for Dybala would be a move away from that. United could sell Lukaku without bringing in a replacement. They are still looking at transfer options, but not at Bruno Fernandes, who is not on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's list. Who is on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's list right now? Because if we're not signing Bruno, we're not signing Dybala, we are selling Lukaku, it's a fucking bad summer, let me tell you. It is a real bad summer. You can't let go Herrera. You can't let go Lukaku and not replace them. You simply can't do that. Our squad already needed strengthening. You must be on crack if you want to do that. You must be asking for us to finish below where we finished last season. Because teams around us are only going to strengthen. They're only going to strengthen. So if that is actually the case from United, someone needs slaps. Someone somewhere needs absolute slaps. Real bad. Andre says we are banter. Who saw the Zaha video, says Calvin. I saw the Zaha video. He was wearing an Eric Bailly shirt, which obviously is Ivory Coast teammate. Story doesn't make sense. Now what I would say, Emmanuel, is, and to you guys, is that Simon Stone has denied deals for Wan-Bissaka just before they happened. He denied a deal for Daniel James just before it happened. So he gets things wrong as well. Just to recap, guys, the British press tonight are reporting, all of them in fact are reporting, that Manchester United have pulled out of a deal for Paulo Dybala involving a swap with Romelu Lukaku because they feel the player's wage demands are excessive, his agent fees are excessive, and he doesn't have the desire to leave Juventus. So we don't want players that don't want to be at the club, which sounds about right to me, but it also means we'll be left with a Romelu Lukaku that doesn't want to be at the club, unless, as Simon Stone is reporting, Manchester United are open to selling him without replacing him. And that leaves me with saying, what the fuck are you on about? Who is making... There's going to be riots at Old Trafford if that happens. Oh, mate, that's bad. He better be wrong, says Splashnet. Let's hope he is wrong. I want Gareth Bale, says Sergio. God, no, let's give up on that one. What happened to us getting a sporting director, says Humam. It's another one of those things that the club tell us never comes off. They like to brief about, but it never comes off. They just shift other things around and pretend they did something. No point in going after a player that does not want to play for United. For the fans that are getting hurt over this, take a good look at yourself, says Gagan. And I totally agree with you as well. United need to have that. We've signed players for the wrong reasons in the past, and we don't want to be doing that again. Yes, I'm disappointed we don't get to see Dybala coming in at United and us replacing Lukaku with another quality player, but I totally agree with that view on things as well. It's pointless spending big money on a player if he doesn't actually want to be at the club. Akshar says, get our spirits up, let's talk about Maguire. Yes, guys, so I was expecting that's what I'd be doing this evening, doing the Harry Maguire Welcome to Manchester United video, but it turned out to be this. Now that I expect will be tomorrow, so make sure you are keeping it locked to Full Time Devils. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing and all that jazz, and keeping it locked to Full Time Devils, which is buy Reds for Reds every single day. And the big season is on the horizon. We've got transfer deadline day this week. We've got the preview for the Chelsea game. We've got the Chelsea game, the watch along. We've got fan cams. We've got my review. We've got all that content coming up this week at Man United. This, that and the other coming your way. And we'll be taking you every step of the way through the transfer window as well. I'm sure there'll be more twists and turns. We'll probably find out Dybala's time for United in the next hour, the way things are going. But right now, the reports are the deal is off. Romelu Lukaku and Paulo Dybala will not swap clubs. Manchester United will not be going after Paulo Dybala because they feel his wages are excessive, his agent fees are excessive, and he doesn't have the desire to join the club. Those are the reports this evening from the British press, but there are a few others in Italy, I believe, who are saying talks are still ongoing. It's a very confusing one, but right now, that's where we're at. And if things change, you'll hear it here first on Full Time Devils. So make sure you've got that notifications button pressed. Anyway, I've been Makola. I'm out of here.